you can be sure enough that our justice system feels that it's justified putting somebody behind bars for the rest of their life. And the only reason to that is because when they do DNA tests, they look for similarities, and your DNA code is billions of base pairs long, so they don't read all billion of them. They just look for segments that are going to be similar. And so I guess there's just a 1 in a trillion chance that there could be a mistake. Now there could be a mistake on the person's part that's doing the test. And I guess that happens. So yeah, that's just. So some of the things like you can't get DNA from hair unless, which I said hair earlier, but if you pull a hair out and you got the root of it, you can get DNA from that. You can't get DNA necessarily. Blood is one that a lot of times you think you can get DNA from, you really can't. So blood can only be used to identify classes and categories of people. Like for example, let's say there's a crime scene and there's type O blood. Well, and there's 5 suspects and 2 of them have O blood. Well, they can eliminate the other 3, but you can't prove that it's this one based on type of blood.
Could there be like
Maybe
2 other people?
I'm sorry?
Could there be 2 of the 5 people?
Right.
Like one is in O blood and the other, if there could be another suspect that didn't have O blood?
Right. Okay. If there is 2 people, yeah, you could. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but that would still be considered what's called circumstantial evidence, which is another topic. Which basically says it's not like you have a person's fingerprint to say they were here, but they have the type of blood the person has. Anyway, but that's not what. But I do want you to know all the DNA in your cell is the same. It's just that different parts are used. Okay. All right, now as we go on, we're going to look at a few different things here that deal with this idea of development, gene expression and development. And what's called homeotic genes are very important in this. Okay? Homeotic genes determine where anatomical structures develop. So homeotic genes are very important for the organization of living organisms. Obviously, it's important that you are arranged the way you're arranged, right? It wouldn't do you a whole lot of good, if your feet were inside your stomach or something, right? Because they, first of all, probably get digested to an extent, and second of all, they wouldn't be able to walk, right? They couldn't help you move, which is kind of the point of them, if they're in the wrong place. And believe it or not, I saw a video of this one time where I'm assuming that it was the homeotic genes were messed up in this baby. Where there was this baby that was born. I saw this on the news, and I actually saw a video of this. It was really amazing. They found a tumor in this baby's head, and so the doctors, of course, were going to do surgery. And believe it or not, when they took out the tumor and they cut it open, guess what they found inside?
Foot.
They found a foot. Not kidding.
Did it have 2 feet on it though?
Yes, it had 2 feet on it, but there was a 3rd foot growing in its brain. You could see the little toes and everything. It was really bizarre. It was underdeveloped. It was kind of, you know how like you see little images of babies in the womb, how they're almost look transparent? That's kind of like the foot was. Like you couldn't see bones in there or anything. But still, you could see it was a foot. You could see its toes. That foot was growing in its brain. Obviously, something got messed up here to where, the wrong part was growing in the wrong place. And that's kind of what these homeotic genes deal with. It determines where anatomical structures develop. So these are going to be segments of DNA that make sure everything's arranged correctly. Okay? Now, the specific parts of the DNA, or the specific genes that do this, or the specific sequences is called the homeobox. So your homeoboxes are specific sequences of homeotic genes. So if you have a strand of DNA, the strand of DNA that actually tells, your feet to grow here, and your arms to grow here, and your nose to go there, would be specifically called a homeobox. Okay, for example, everybody look at page 224.